Welcome po sa Buhay Pinoy sa Abroad. Sa episode natin ngayon, pag-aralan natin at i-explore natin yung iba't ibang paraan kung bakit ang isang empleyado ay candidate for termination ng American employer. Ang episode na to ay particularly applicable sa mga kababayan natin na bagong salta pa lamang sa Amerika o yung mga kababayan natin na nagsisimula pa lamang na kanilang employment sa Amerika. Maaaring angkop din po ang mga reasons na ito sa inyo kung nasa ibang bansa kayo other than the United States. Kasi very basic naman. Ang iba dito self-explanatory. Actually, yung pang 20 nga, death, which is a reason for employment termination. Okay, ang pinakauna dito is poor performance. I think very basic naman ito. Ang mga American employers kasi mataas ang ang expectation nila. Ang nakafocus sila masyado sa output. So, ang poor performance is the most common reason for termination. At kabilang dito yung consistently failing to meet deadlines. Binigyan ka ng deadline, hindi mo na-meet, hingi ka ng extension hanggang incur na ng maraming losses at expenses yung project nyo. Ano pa? Making mistakes. Consistently making mistakes. Paulit-ulit na lang na parang hindi mo kayang patunayan na kaya mo yung trabaho mo. At ang isa pa ay producing low quality of work. So kagaya nga nung nasabi ko, ang taas kasi ng expectation ng mga American employers. So pag nakita nila na yung klase ng trabaho mo ay napaka-mediocre, napakababa ng quality, mukhang kandidato ka na para hindi i-renew. Ang pangalawa, misconduct. This includes any behavior that is disruptive, harmful, or illegal, such as sexual harassment, bullying, theft, or drug use. Most common dito, yung mga pag-iskandalo sa workplace, yung pagkikipagsuntukan, pagkikipagsabunutan, yung mga ganong brawl na mga parang, how do we call them? They are low-life kinds of behavior na hindi mo kailangang ipakita sa workplace pero ipinapakita mo pa rin. So kung nandito na kayo sa United States, alam nyo na in every part of the United States may mga low lives talaga ng mga tao. Huwag na natin gayahin yun. I mean, the best that we can do as immigrants is to be the best that we can or be the best that we can be. Number 3, chronic absenteeism or tardiness. So, kung medyo nagagawa natin yun sa Pilipinas, diba sabi sa Pilipinas, ang Filipino time is relative. Dito, huwag na natin gawin yun. Pag dito kasi on the dot ang oras eh. Kapag binabayaran ka from 9 to 5 or from 7 to 3 o'clock, for example, every minute counts. So, yung absenteeism mo, yung pagiging huli mo, sasabihin mo, traffic kasi ang employer mo hindi naiintindihan. Kahit sa ang sector, kahit sa teaching, sa health, occupational health, careers, kahit pa sa mga food chains, applicable ito. Number 4, violation of company policy. So this could include anything from using company property for personal use to violating confidentiality rules. Sasabihin nyo, magdadala ako sa bahay ng papel galing sa office o konting paper clips. Huwag ka lang papahuli kasi yun, violation of company policy yun, di ba? Property yun ng opisina, property yun ng company, tapos kinukurakot. Early form of corruption yun eh. Ang number 5 is drug or alcohol use at work. So being under the influence of drugs or alcohol while on the job can be a safety hazard and can lead to poor performance. So alam naman natin yan, self-explanatory. Kapag wala ka sa wisyo, chances are maapektuhan ang quality, ang work quality mo. Medyo hindi ka magiging asset ng company. Number 6, falsifying company records. So this could include anything from doctoring timesheets to forging signatures. Hindi ka naman pumasok pero sa timesheet nag-appear na pumasok ka. So in other words, dinadaya mo yung payroll. Number 7, insubordination. This is refusing to follow the instructions of a supervisor or manager. It could be a relative. It could be well-defined by a company. May mga companies na masyadong specific ang definition nila ng insubordination. So, kailangang aralin natin yon. Pag pumirma tayo ng kontrata, kabilang yon sa kailangan nating basahin. Ano ang insubordination sa bagong company ko? Kasi for all you know, yung pagsabi mo lang na hindi ako pwede, form of insubordination na yon. Number 8, inappropriate behavior. So this could include things like making sexual advances, using offensive languages, or creating a hostile work environment. Groping. Dumaan ka sa isang office mate na nag-photocopy tapos bigla mong tinampal yung kanyang puwet. That's groping. Ano pa? Wala kang ibang ginawa kundi i-annoy yung office mate mo, hindi na siya makapagtrabaho. That's inappropriate behavior. Number 9, theft or property damage. So stealing from the company or damaging company property are serious offenses that can lead to termination. So similar ito dun sa violation of company policies na ang pagnanakaw ng company property, bawal na bawal. For example, sasabihin mo, ay may nakatiwangwang, 5 years nang nakatiwangwang yung laptop dyan, wala nang gumagamit, hindi na uso, dalhin ko kaya sa bahay. Nako, ingat ka. Because that could be, kapag nahuli ka, that could be construed as theft. Number 10, competition with the company. This could include starting a competing business or revealing trade secrets to a competitor. Kapag binayaran ka ng isang competitor para mag-spy sa company mo at mag-spill ka ng secrets, napakalaking bagay yun. Ground for termination yun. O kaya nag-open ka na sarili mong business. Unethical yun. Number 11, disclosing confidential information. So this could include anything from sharing customer information to discussing company plans with a competitor. So anything related to company documents or documentation, wag mong ilalabas yan kung wala kang karapatan. Number 12, conflict of interest. This is when an employee's personal interest conflict with their professional duties. Halimbawa, meron kang second job or third job, pero hindi ka naman allowed. Assuming you are a contract worker, international contract worker ka, exclusively hired by that particular company, pero nagkaroon ka ng under the table na arrangement with another company. Kailangan mo mag-ingat ng husto dahil conflict of interest yun. Kasi per the guidelines, hindi ka allowed na magkaroon ng iba pang work other than your primary occupation. Hindi mo right yun. At least. Number 13, leaving the job without permission. Ngayon, so this is called abandoning the job. AWOL, kapag nag-AWOL ka, absence without leave. And it can be ground for termination, especially if the employer is leaving in the middle of a project or an assignment. Sa aming mga teachers dito sa United States, kapag umalis ka ng alanganin, tatanggalan ka ng professional license. Hindi ka pwedeng makapag-apply sa iba. So, simple lang yun. Part yun ng pinirmahan namin. Part yun ng kontrata, kung merong union, part yun ng union negotiation. At dapat malinaw yon. Hindi pwedeng mag-aasta ka na magaling ka at may attitude ka, tapos bigla ka na lang lalayas. Number 14, engaging in illegal activity. So this could include anything from fraud to assault. Anything illegal. It could be form of bullying. It could be, assault of a supervisor or of a co-worker. Wala. Talagang diretso ka sa rehas niyan. Number 15, being convicted of a crime. Even if an employee is not convicted of a crime, being arrested or charged with a crime can be ground for termination, especially if the crime is related to the job. Linawin nating mabuti. Kung ang pinapatungkulan ko nito ay mga contract workers galing sa Pilipinas, whether you are a J1 visa holder, an H1 visa holder, basta hindi pa kayo permanent resident ng United States, hindi pa kayo naturalized citizen ng United States, never ever engage in any kind of crime. Kasi, ground for deportation ninyo yan. Tatanggalan ka na ng trabaho, mapapalayas ka pa sa US. Napakasimpleng bagay niyan. Number 16, unsatisfactory performance during probationary period. So, may probationary period. May, sa aming mga teachers, again, 3 years ang probationary period. So, kapag hindi namin napatunayan within the next 3 years na efficient or competent kami na teachers, ilalagay kami sa plan. Kapag hindi pa kami pumasa, aalisin na kami, tatanggalin na kami sa trabaho. May mga opisina na 3 months lang, tapos na ang probation nila. May iba na 6 months lang. So, depende sa company ang probationary period. But within that probationary period, you must have demonstrated satisfactory performance or way above that satisfactory performance. Otherwise, kapag hindi maganda ang performance mo, alisin ka na nila. Number 17, very common, lalo na ngayon sa sitwasyon natin ngayon, na very dynamic na ang sitwasyon, very ang panahon, hindi natin masyadong kalkulado. May tinatawag na reduction in force or RIF. An RIF or a reduction in force is when an employer lays off employees due to financial or other reasons. So, may mga pagkakataon na nagsishrink, lumiliit yung company size, yung company environment. Wala nang masyadong kliyente, kaya kailangan ng magbawas ng tao. Ang unang-unang tatargetin dyan, yung non-essential personnel. Kaya, kailangan mong maging essential. Kailangan mong patunayan na exceptional ang performance mo. Again, dahil nasa world ako ng education, sa mga teachers naman, meron ding reduction in force. Nasa school ka, assigned ka sa school, one day, biglang sinabi na lang sa'yo ng administrator mo, hindi ka na namin kailangan by next year. So, maghahanap ka na ngayon ng bagong eskwelahan. Otherwise, kung hindi ka makahanap, isa subject ka to tinatawag na involuntary transfer. In other words, sila ang gagawa ng paraan para ma-transfer ka kasi wadang ayaw mo dun sa mapupuntahan mo, wala kang magagawa. That's reduction in force. Number 18, merger or acquisition. So, kapag ang companies nag-merge, halimbawa, dalawang companies, halimbawa, assuming dalawang bangko nag-merge into one, assuming ang Visa at Mastercard ay nag-merge into one, siguro hindi naman mangyayari yan. Pero kung sakaling ganyan ang scenario, very common din na may mga nati-terminate na empleyado. Kailangan nating maintindihan ito. Masakit sa loob kapag nawalan ka ng trabaho, pero minsan kasi wala tayong magagawa eh. Diba? So, ang isa pa dito, number 19 is voluntary resignation. So, in some cases, an employee may choose to resign instead of being terminated. So, ang maalis ka sa trabaho mo kapag nag-resign ka voluntarily. Halimbawa, better job pay offer sa ibang company. O kaya personal matter, hindi ko na kaya, stress na ako, aalis na lang ako, uwi na lang ako. Okay, so sasabihin ng company mo, you are being given maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 1 month to prepare. After that, i-release ka na ng company. In that way, terminated ka na from the company. And finally nga, yung sinasabi ko, kapag namatay ang tao, death, kapag namatay ang tao, syempre, hindi na masusustain yung kanyang employment. So, ito yung 20 ways kung saan maaaring ma-terminate ang isang empleyado ng American employer. Ngayon, sa ating mga OFW, sa ating mga kababayan na kasisimula lang o pupunta pa lang sa Amerika, aralin natin mabuti balik-balikan natin itong 20 ways na to, ililista ko sa baba, para maiwasan natin. Para tayong magpapatentero dito. Pero kung mabuting tao ka na, upright ang ang intention mo talaga is really good. Tapos, ang maganda naman ang training mo, hindi ka libre talaga ang prinsipyo mo sa buhay. I think, itong 20 reasons na to, sisiw lang para iwasan, di ba? So, sana, may nakuha kayong kahit konting kahalagahan sa episode natin ngayon, na ang pamagat ay Top 20 Reasons Why American Employers Terminate an Employee. At meron din itong implication sa pagiging OFW natin sa Amerika. Maraming salamat po at welcome once again sa Buhay Pinoy sa Abroad.